Hello, you lovely ladies and handsome gents. Welcome once again to Talk to the Hand Reviews. My name is Bold Reviews Lady. I like to talk about stuff like perfume, makeup, and yeah, the occasional little dance or whatever, you know, so we can all, you know, take a break from the computing. Anyways, today I want to talk to you about something pretty special. See it? This is a hyacinth flower. It's a pink one. Usually you see them in purple, and they're a spring flower, and they're so fragrant. This one little guy fragrances up any room or rooms that it's in. Oh, it's so nice. I want to tell you 10 hyacinth perfumes. And I want to tell you a little bit about hyacinths. So the hyacinth is known as the Bluebell or the Jacinta. It is an intense, sharp green, multifaceted floral note. Hyacinth folklore says Hyacinthus was a mythological prince who was loved by Apollo. He died tragically and transformed into the hyacinth flower. According to foliagefriend.com, it is a symbol of youth and rebirth, according to ancient Greek symbolism. The blue hyacinth represents tranquility, the purple hyacinth represents royalty, and the pink hyacinth represents love and affection. The flower is associated with birth and renewal. It is a symbol of good luck. And in some traditions, placing hyacinth flowers in the home is said to bring positive energy and ward off negative spirits. Just ward off those negative spirits. Get out! Get out! Okay. Now there's another kind of hyacinth called the grape hyacinth, which is actually muscari. And I think it smells very similar. I have those in my garden, grape hyacinth. They're these little teeny tiny, they're like teeny tiny. You might miss them. They're like one of the first things in the spring garden to show up. I didn't even realize I planted some. And then my husband discovered, we were walking by this patch and he was like, what's that? And I'm like, oh my gosh, the grape hyacinths grew. But I mean, what I mean is they sprouted at all. But when they get to their height, they're this big. So they are quite small. We use them in floral design. I used to be a floral designer. We use those in floral design as well. They're pretty cute, but it takes a lot to make an impact. However, though those are called hyacinth, they're not a true hyacinth. These hyacinths are a member of the Liliaceae family, and grape hyacinth is a member of the asparagus family. Can you believe it? Asparagus is related to a lot of stuff. I'm surprised. But anyhow, you want to know what's them perfumes. Okay, so according to Fragrantica, you know, you can go in Fragrantica and you can look things up by note. A lot of times I'll figure out there's a flower I want to talk about and what perfumes are primarily use that note. Sorry. Okay. So I'm going to get started here. Okay, and I looked these up based on how much hyacinth they used. They tended to put hyacinth in the top notes, but also there are some with hyacinth in the mid notes because, as you know, the mid notes tend to have the most impact. So starting with number 1 from 2014. Supra Floral from Mugler. It is a shared fragrance. Supra Floral Les Exceptions from Mugler. Supra Floral Les Exceptions from Mugler. Right. So the notes are like this. The top notes are hyacinth, the middle note is incense, and the base note is amber. 3. So I haven't tried it, but you're likely to smell hyacinth in there if there's only 3 notes. So that's an interesting one. Moving on to number 2, from 2016, Penhaligons, Revenge of Lady Blanche. Now, in Revenge of Lady Blanche, it's all one, you know, sometimes they'll show you top, middle, base notes. Well, in this one, they only showed me just a linear, all in one. And it said hyacinth, iris, and narcissus. So that is a spring bomb, isn't it? Although iris, though, iris tends to be a little more summer. I guess it depends on the iris. But yeah, that sounds cool. And I'd love to get my hands on it. I'd love to wrap my nose around it. Okay, number 3 from 2010, Base de Soie from Serge Lutens, another shared fragrance. And they're all one level again like the last one. Hyacinth, iris, galbanum, musk, and spicy notes. So they didn't specify which spicy notes, but spicy notes. So that was number 3. Number 4 from 2017, Blue Hyacinth from Jo Malone, another shared fragrance. All one level again. Blue Hyacinth. They specified blue hyacinth. That's interesting. So you could take the meaning of blue hyacinth and consider that as part of it because they specified. And what did blue hyacinth mean? Tranquility. So blue hyacinth, vetiver, and geranium. I could see how that could be a shared fragrance, especially with the vetiver and the geranium, because geranium tends to smell, it has this, not really a floral quality, more like a really, like an earthy green quality to it. So yeah. Number 5, from 1978, Penhaligons Bluebell for women. It does have top, middle, and base. Top notes are citruses. The mid notes are hyacinth. The mid notes are hyacinth, lily of the valley, rose, cyclamen, and jasmine. And the base notes are galbanum, cloves, and cinnamon. But, you know, I mean, Penhaligons, so go figure. It's going to be probably pretty nice. Then number 6 is 2010 was Chanel Chance Au Tendre for women. Top notes of quince and grapefruit. Middle notes hyacinth, jasmine, and base notes are musk, iris, and Virginia cedar and amber. Chanel Chance Au Tendre. And number 7 from 2023, did they say? Okay, so this is Cristalle by Eau de Parfum. Cristalle Eau de Parfum from Chanel. Now, you know Cristalle's been around a long time, right? But, okay, back when I was behind the counter working for cosmetics and fragrance, usually when you came in to buy perfumes or fragrances at all, you'd get, like, let's say, for instance, Coco Chanel, right? Or Oscar de la Renta. Let's say Oscar de la Renta. There was Eau de Toilette. There was pure perfume oil. I don't believe we had an Eau de Parfum. Yes, we did, but it wasn't called Eau de Parfum. It was called Esprit de Parfum. It's so funny because I was thinking in my head, it seems like we had something else, but I don't think it was an Eau de Parfum. This is it with the gold cap. And it was just, you know, like I said, here it says Oscar de la Renta Esprit de Parfum is perfume by Oscar de la Renta for women, was released in 87. Projection and longevity are above average. So see, that is what I'm talking about. Is it used to just be the Eau de Parfums would mean the projection and longevity would be better than average. And that's not the way it is today. So this is just the bottom. I worked for, a little bit after this, I worked for Oscar de la Renta. I worked for Parfums Sanofi. And even if we had, what I was told about fragrances back then is that the difference between you know, your colognes, your eau de toilettes, your eau de parfums, your pure perfume oils, is the only difference was how long they would last on your skin. But that's not the case now. Like, the notes were the same, but that's not the case now. Now a lot of these perfume companies, they go like they did here apparently. Take Cristalle, for instance, a very old, very well-known Chanel fragrance, and make something with different notes, but call it the same name in an eau de parfum. So a lot of perfume companies are doing that now. I can only assume that it's because they've discovered the popularity of flankers, because we didn't have a lot of flankers back then either. This was the late 80s up to the late 90s. Off and on, I didn't do it all the way through the 90s. There was like a big chunk of time that I did not work in cosmetics and fragrance. But over about a 10-year period, I did work in cosmetics and fragrance. So this new Cristalle Eau de Parfum, I haven't tried it yet, but I certainly know the old one quite well. And of course I love it, like most of you. Says the top notes are citruses and fruity notes. The middle notes are hyacinth and honeysuckle, and the base notes are jasmine and iris. So yeah, you know, you can check the notes for a little fun homework on your own if you want to look. Go look up the original Cristalle on Fragrantica, and then look up this new Cristalle Eau de Parfum and see if the notes are different. I'm not sure if I did that or not, because I know I did some I wanted to show you to compare. I may or may not have done that one. But if I didn't, I mean, it's kind of fun to go and see. I find constant interesting discovery over on Fragrantica, and I know there are a lot of other, or a few, there's not a lot, there's a few other websites that talk about fragrance, but I just think Fragrantica is so easy to use. They've got so much great information. I mean, they've got gorgeous pictures. They hardly miss a thing. I mean, it's not too often that you can find any fragrances that, you know, are not, it's not too often that you can find fragrances that aren't there. So, Cristalle by Chanel Eau de Parfum from 2023. Okay, 3 more left. From 2018, here's an unusual one. This is called Apsara from Alchemia or Alchemia Parfums. And it is for women. Oh, sorry, no, it's shared. It's shared. And the thing that really gets me about this one is it has 2 notes in it. And those 2 notes are hyacinth and Darjeeling black tea. Doesn't that sound neat? Just Darjeeling and black tea? I'm sorry, just hyacinth and Darjeeling black tea. I mean, I love Darjeeling tea. So yeah, check that one out if you like hyacinth, or you want to check out, because it's likely to have a lot of hyacinth in it if there's only 2 notes. Okay. In 2009, A Scent by Issey Miyake. Again, all one level. Lemon verbena, hyacinth, galbanum, Amalfi lemon, jasmine, and Virginia cedar. So that's one from Issey Miyake I had never heard of. And my last one. You've heard of this one. You probably have owned it, but it's not exactly the same. Anise, 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 anise. Ah, such a pretty fragrance. Oh, so unique, you know. And this one I sold. I sold it in the late 80s. Yeah, mainly just in the late 80s. But this one, like I was saying with Chanel Cristalle, how they came out with a new Chanel Cristalle Eau de Parfum. The one that's on this list is actually not this one. This one is, the one that's on the list is Anise Anise. They call it L'Originale, which ironically it's not L'Originale. This is L'Originale. But I will tell you anyways. The top notes are hyacinth, honeysuckle, and honeysuckle. The middle notes are Lily of the Valley, Jasmine, and Ylang Ylang, and Rose. And the base notes are Moss, Musk, Vetiver, Sandalwood, and Black Currant. But, you know, I'm sure that I did compare the notes between my Anise and this one called L'Originale. And what I remember seeing is that the new version contains some of the notes of the old version, but the old version contains all of the notes of the new version. I could be wrong about that, because, you know, I try to do a lot of research, and, you know, like research, like sometimes I don't keep it organized. I'm sorry, maybe you figured out. I'm a little scatterbrained. I am. But I still get to have fun doing what I like doing, and I'm sorry if I'm, you know, like all over the place. But my report cards in school always said easily distracted. Anyways, so that is 10 Hyacinth Fragrances. Oh, my lovely ladies and handsome gents, this video has come to an end. And I hope you enjoyed it, because I really like talking about flowers, you know, and perfume. So, yeah, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like this kind of content. You know, you don't have to give much of yourself to subscribe, do you? You don't have to try that hard. You just gotta push the subscribe, right? You just put the subscribe, and then, you know, and then maybe you'll come and see my video again. You know? Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And, you know, we gotta have our little groove along. Are you getting up every hour like I asked you to? Like I asked you to do? Get up every hour. We're all sitting at our computers and sitting at our devices. Meanwhile, our bodies are atrophying. They're like becoming these things where we do this with our necks, and our bodies change because we're not up moving around like we should be. So don't forget to do it. And then come back and watch more of my videos. I mean, you know. Okay, thank you. Bye. Oh, these wheels are slow.